Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Big whopper in the news today. Stranded NASA astronauts return to Earth by the numbers. March 18th, 2025. And again, want to show you what a ritual this is. It's these type of rituals that are used to justify NASA's currently $70 million per day budget. $70 million per day. It's almost $500 million per week. Imagine if we were throwing that kind of federal money at cleaning up the streets of America, helping communities that have never had any kind of federal intervention, while we send even more money overseas to places like Ukraine. Again, major homeless epidemic all throughout the country, especially on the West Coast. I think $500 million could probably solve it. Just a week at NASA's budget. A few weeks for sure will get it done. But yeah, as we know, everything in the news and everything NASA does is by the code. If you haven't read my book from 2017, Letters and Numbers, you should definitely read that. It talks about NASA's history by the numbers. Again, we're talking about an organization that from pretty much day one, the brain powers where the scientists brought over an Operation Paperclip, the Nazi scientists. And we talked about what that had to do with Elon Musk's salute on January 20th. We're going to talk about what it has to do with today's news, because supposedly puppet Elon Musk's SpaceX helped bring back the Boeing Starliner. Of course, Boeing out of Seattle. That's where I spent most of my adult life. Seattle, the 206 area code. Talk about where the 206 is in today's ritual. Couldn't be more obvious. But yeah, this news by the numbers thing. NASA astronauts, right? The stranded NASA astronauts. The majority of the world writes today, 18th of March. 18/3 like 183. NASA astronauts has that gematria value of 183. Just like order out of chaos. And again, this was a chaotic situation, so we were told. The Boeing Starliner didn't perform as expected. The astronauts were stranded. They needed Mr. SS puppet Elon Musk to intervene and save the day. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of this post and we'll come back over it. I just want you to see right here. From the day that Elon Musk said his SpaceX would intervene and help, that was on August 24th, 24/8, while the country was 248 years old, and it still is. Will be until July 4th. But from that day, from the day that they said they'd intervene, to the day that SpaceX helps out Boeing out of the 206 area code, 206 days later. And again, Seattle is the 206. It's kind of like when the Seahawks won their only Super Bowl by the numbers. Russell Wilson had 206 passing yards. And why would these things be? Well, because there's a secret society that stands behind NASA that also stands behind the American Football League, and that is Freemasonry. Again, they say when that moon mission happened by the numbers, they say they planted the Scottish Rite flag on the moon. American football is credited to a Scottish Rite Freemason, Walter Camp. What do they etch on the Masonic temple? All is number. Why do they etch that? Because that's the Pythagoras quote, who said to be the first Freemason in some circles. The other guy who's argued to be the first Freemason is the builder of the Tower of Babel, Nimrod, from the Old Testament, which, of course, Freemasonry is based in the Old Testament and the Torah, and so is Kabbalah. And in Kabbalah, numbers are very important, and that's where this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. Gematria comes from Kabbalah. Gematria starts with a G, like the Masonic logo is a big G. It means geometry and language. It relates to mathematics. Again, these are mathematical rituals. So, they said that splashdown was expected at 5:57 p.m., and it must have been pretty close to that time because pretty much all the headlines broke that they were back on Earth right around that time. That's Eastern Standard Time. They reportedly landed off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. And the interesting thing about 57 minutes after the hour, of course, Elon Musk did his SS salute 57 days ago. And of course, I got my Twitter channel deleted 1 week after for calling it out. And for anyone who thought it wasn't an SS salute, again, I spelled it out the day it happened. I said, this is a tribute to Wernher Von Braun. And some people thought that that was dumb who replied to my video. Well, what was announced a few weeks later? That Wernher Von Braun's wife had died the exact same day that Musk did the SS salute on January 20th. And again, Wernher Von Braun, the Nazi scientist, he wrote Project Mars, where the lead character is the Elon. And anyway, it's 57 days later. Outer space equals 57, as does conspiracy, as does Scottish Rite. For the record, moon also equals 57, going with the Scottish Rite flag on the moon, supposedly back in 69. The other planetary body that equals 57 is Mars. Again, Elon Musk is associated with the book Project Mars by Wernher Von Braun. And Tuesday is named after Mars. Mars has a 47-year orbital cycle. Here we are in the time of number 47. Is number 47's right-hand man, saves the NASA astronauts. So it's 57 days since the salute, right? We got this part down. Sunita Williams, today is the 181st day of her age. That's the 42nd prime number. Outer space. Now, I did just say outer space equates to 57. Outer space also equates to 42. If you're new here, the most simple cipher is the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. The next cipher is the reverse alphabetic order. Z is 1 back to A is 26. And the next two ciphers are both orders with numerology applied. They are the 4 base ciphers of the English language. Again, I learned about this from Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages, published in 1926. But if you run it the other way, outer space is 42, like Freemason, like Jesuit. Again, the powerful secret societies in D.C. are the Freemasons and the Jesuits. And remember, the Jesuits venerate 201, Neil Alden Armstrong equals 201, the moon landing was on the 201st day of the year. There's a major overlap with Jesuits and Freemasonry. A lot of the rites of Freemasonry were written by Jesuit priests. With regards to secret societies in this nation's federal government, the capital's on the 77th meridian west. United States equals 77, as does secret society. The other man, Barry Butch Wilmore, today is 79 days after his birthday. Society of Jesus equals 79, as in the Jesuits. They supposedly became stuck on June 5th, 2024. Fateful day in history. From what happened to RFK to Ronald Reagan passing on that day. Don't forget Ronald Reagan equals 56. But that date can be written 5/6 like 56. Society of Jesus equals 56 and 79. These numbers get put together a lot. So the more famous of that two astronauts is Butch Wilmore. Seems like he is the face of NASA for the last decade. And adding insult to injury, from Elon Musk's birthday, again, we know Elon Musk is nothing but a Jesuit puppet. He doesn't really run any of these things. He's just a puppet on the world stage. From his birthday to today is 263 days, the 56th prime number. Keep in mind, Boeing equals 56. And notice, from the day they got stuck to today is a span of 41 weeks, like USA equals 41, United States equals 77, 77th day of the year, 41 weeks, 41's the 13th prime. We're talking about the land of 13 stripes that came out of 13 colonies where they indoctrinated young people in 13 years of slave school. And yeah, again, from Elon Musk saying they would intervene to today, 206 days later, helping out Boeing from the 206 area code. You could also say that's a span of 207 days. And remember, Wernher Von Braun equals 207. And on August 24th, when this news broke, I showed how it was synced up with Wernher Von Braun and the Project Mars book. And then again, when he did the salute on January 20th, I showed how it was synced up with Wernher Von Braun and the Project Mars book. So here we are reaching the conclusion of this story by the numbers, and it's the same recurring numbers. I should have linked those two posts in case you didn't catch those stories last August and earlier this January. But they are on my website, GematriaEffectNews. And the videos are still remaining on this channel because this channel is still up. Again, this channel doesn't get any views. Gets the least views out of any channel I've ever made out of the 20-some channels. The other ones have been deleted. But The videos from August and this past January are definitely up, and you can go back and watch those topics and see how by the numbers it is. I brought up the 207 ritual because, again, Wernher Von Braun equals 207 in what they did last August, and also the salute. And it is here present in this story again. Wernher Von Braun, 207. Might also remind you of the date 20/7, the day of the moon landing. As they say, Elon Musk is going to help the government get to the next level, the Mars landing, to go with the Wernher Von Braun book. And again, here we are on a Tuesday, a Mars day. By the way, Mars, the god of war. Today, Israel, by the numbers, ended the ceasefire, order out of chaos. Again, JUDAISM equals 77, just like ZIONIST equals 77. Again, that story is not unrelated to this story. It's all news by the numbers. And I covered that other one in the stream earlier today. We'll leave it there for now. And until next time, Truth Seeker.